Hello, hello, hello. Hey. Ugh. Hello, whoever's watching, please get in the chat and let me know if you can hear me. Please. There we go. No responses. Ugh. Okay, who's this? Frame Junkie. Is this your first time here, Mr. Frame Junkie? Give me your real name and tell me a little bit about yourself and where you're from. I'm waiting on a few other guys to come. They usually come in a little late, but that's okay. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Being that you're the only one in the chat, let me just say this. I don't think you're on my mailing list. Okay? So if you want some PDFs for the lessons that have been in the past, or tonight's lesson, or the lessons that are going to happen every day or whenever, I'm going to send you my email. Hey. British Columbia. Okay, Canada. All right. Pleased to meet you there, Norm. I'm going to give you my email. Okay? Now, all you have to do, okay, Norm, is email me. I put you on my mailing list. I'll give you all the PDFs you need. And you'll get the week's agenda plus okay. How long have you been playing, Norm? And Mr. Joe, how are you, sir? Everything is fine tonight. I just got off the phone with my tech, or computer tech, so to speak, and I was telling him the issues I was having. And he says it's just a matter of adjusting some settings on Wirecast. Because I noticed, I listened to one of the videos, okay? You've been playing 45 years, all right. And on the feedback or the recording coming back, they sound terrible. There's a delay someplace. I'm speaking, then I'm playing. I got to get it into sync. So bear with me, okay? So, Norm, you've been playing 45 years. That's a long time. I've been playing since I've been 12. I'm 73 right now. So that's a long time. Okay, so what we do here is you guys ask questions and I could see if I could address them. Being that it's your first time here, Norm, are you having any kind of issues that I could help you out with, or maybe you could teach me, or are you having with your foot, jazz patterns, rock patterns, fusion? I know there's a little bit of a delay, which is all right. All right. Let's address some issues that you're new here, so I know that Joe rather will say, okay, that's cool. It's a new guy. Yeah, tonight they're good. I don't know. I just turned on my other computer and it said to me, update to a newer version of Windows. So I don't know if that's an issue or not. But everything will come out okay from now on. Not a problem. Okay? We're working on it. So tell me what you would like to kind of address there, Norm, and we'll hit on it. Jazz patterns, the stick control book, hand technique, the level system, linear concepts. What would you like? Talk to me so I can know what I'm going to do for you. All right. Looks like Paul is not going to be here tonight because of school. Okay, so let's go kind of to the vamping patterns, and you'll get that, Norm, if you email me. You get the vamping patterns, and you get about 30 PDFs, things that we've been working on. Now, Marcio. You had a shoulder injury and it slows down your right hand. We'll play left-handed. All right, fusion. Okay, let me see if I can help you out a little bit here. Boy, this stance sucks. Here's what we'll do. Let's go, like last night we had a little bit of a review. Now, just to introduce yourself, introduce myself and my teaching craziness. The stick control book is my primary source of teaching. I hope you have the stick control book by George Lawrence Stone. And I get guys say, it's boring and whatever because they don't get into the book the way they're supposed to. They surfacely look at it, and yeah, it is boring. Right, left, right, left, right, left, or right, right, left, left, right, right, or any combination thereafter. But now, we're going to have a little fun with it. Do you have the stick control book, Norm? Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Let's first establish a vamping pattern. And I know Marcio and Joe is okay with this. It's always good to revisit things that you've done so that you can make sure you're doing them okay and you understand them a lot better. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to play straight eighth notes constantly, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and on the snare drum. The bass drum is going to be playing 1, 2, 3, 4. The hi-hat is going to be playing 2 and 4, a heel and toe. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, heel, toe. Bass drum is 1, 2, 3, 4. And my eighth notes I'm counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So play it a little up tempo. You should get this going on. All right, now you want to do that slower. I'm just showing you where we're going to go. So now, that gives me a free right hand. Now let's take the whole stick control book as we're doing the left hand as an endurance exercise. We're developing coordination between the bass drum and we're learning how to do the heel and toe method with the hi-hat. So now, what are we going to do with the right hand? Let's put the right hand on the floor tom-tom. Okay, we did. All right. So now, here's what you're interpreting the first line of stick control book as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So what I like to do here is eliminate the lefts. And that's just going to give me the rights. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I go to line 2, the sticking pattern is 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I eliminate the lefts, that gives me my rights as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and. Okay, so that being said, line 1 would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Repeat. 1 and 2, 3. Line 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now you understand where I'm getting my right hand part. Paul, you're always late. That's okay. That's what I told everybody. Let's wait for Paul. He's going to be late again. All right, just kidding, Paul. All right, like I told everybody, I just got off the phone with my computer tech. He lives in California. There's a 3-hour difference. And what I've noticed on the playback, because this is being recorded, on the playback, it sounds terrible. So there's some sort of setting in my Wirecast program that's doing that, and we're going to find out what that is. Okay? So let's get back to, I got to stop talking so much. Let's get back to the vamping pattern. Let's do it slow. 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3. Now my right hand. 1 and 2 and 3. That's line 1. Repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Line 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Aye. So, take it up a little bit. I'm going to do line 1, 2 measures, go right directly into line 2, 2 measures. So I have 1. Back, line 2. Now you can do the whole page like that. Do we have any questions on that there, Norm? And Marcio, do we have any questions? Any questions, gentlemen? Oh, one thing I forgot to tell you, Norm. Next week, after tomorrow, I'm taking a whole week off, and I will be back the first Monday after Labor Day. Now, so far, do we all understand what I've gone over? There's another version I want to give you of this for the guys who've already done this with me. Okay? And the guys who haven't. Okay. Good. That's good. Now, I'm containing that right hand here. And I just tuned these drums. They sound terrible because I just put new heads on them. I got to take a couple hours and really fine tune this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run down line 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to not repeat each line. I'm going to do line 1, go directly into line 2, repeat it. Play it 2 measures. Go to line 3, 2 measures. Line 4, 2 measures. Line 5, 2 measures. Here we go. Man, that sounds terrible. My God. Come on, drum. Be nice. Okay. Do we understand that? Norm, you understand it. Now, here's one that is not difficult. It's confusing. For example, if I played line 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay, and said, all right, I'm going to make the R become the floor tom-tom and the L the bass drum. So instead of having 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, I'm going to have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and against this. Line number 3. The R's, remember, are this. L's are this. Line 5. You guys are gonna get PDFs on this sometime within the next week. So that's what's more confusing about that is, wait a minute, is the the right hand, is the left the bass drum? So what I would do to get accustomed to that is play a linear time and play all the rights on the snare, I mean the floor tom tom, and all the L's on with the bass drum. That'll help you practice. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. Line 3, 1 and 2, I mean 2 rather. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Line 3. So on and so forth, all the way down. Thank you, Norm. You'll be getting all of that. That's all I really want to do with the vamping thing, you know. And are you familiar with the level system, Norm? Or the level system is control strokes, the sticking positions, sticking heights, how you do accents, turnarounds, paradiddles, so on and so forth. Oh yeah, by the way, guys, there's going to be a segment, again, I wanted to do every other night on the drum pad, so we're going to take that up again, maybe not every other night, but maybe once in a while, and we're going to learn some rudiments with the proper height, the proper technique of executing the rudiments. Okay, now, this is involves the laws of gravity, or the physics, the laws of physics. Sir Isaac Newton, he's the one who discovered it, so we should hit him in the head with a drumstick instead of an apple. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Let's just talk about the right hand. Okay? Now, if I throw the stick down from this distance, and it comes right back, for every action, there's an opposite reaction. But I'm stopping this stick. I'm not letting it fly all the way back here. I'm controlling it. But I still have the opposite reaction. And I should get a heavier sound. Now that's called a full stroke or a free stroke. Or that's a sticking position, which is about 18 inches off the drum. My next sticking position would be a half stroke, which would be this. Now notice the sound. The distance is shorter, and I'm not throwing it down as hard. I'm just getting a lighter sound. And then the quarter stroke, lighter sound. So we have 3 sticking positions, sticking heights. The full stroke, the half stroke, and the quarter stroke. That's sticking positions. Now the level system, and it's the control strokes. If you have Joe Morello's book, Master Studies, that's a hell of a journey to go on with that book. And you'll have some chops. Now, but if you do it incorrectly, the way he wanted you, the way he projects it for you to do, you won't really get that much out of it. It's all about sticking heights and control strokes. For example, if I want an accented note, I hit from up here. If I want an unaccented note, I'm hitting here. But now if I want one soft note here and then the next one an accent, something has to happen. So I have non-accent and I have to come up. That's the next stroke, is an upstroke, to come down to give you another an accented stroke. So we have the full stroke or the free stroke, downstroke, the tap, and the upstroke. Now I did 4 different motions, okay? What's this? I have 4 different motions, but 2 different sounds. So the full stroke and the downstroke sound the same. The tap and the upstroke sound the same. Now, it's a very basic lesson. If I'm going to do quarter notes, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 as a paradiddle sticking, and I want to accent the first note of the paradiddle, it's downstroke, because I'm hitting the accent. Now I have one sound there because I got the accent. However, I have three other different sounds. But with my left hand, I have to get in position to get the up and coming accent. 2, 3, 4. 1, up, tap, tap, down, up, tap, tap. Now that looks very stiff and mechanical, and it is, because that's what's occurring with your stick when you're playing single paradiddles. No matter how fast, how slow you are, obtain that sound. That's what's happening. All right, that's the full stroke, the free stroke, the downstroke, the tap, and the upstroke. Now, if I'm playing a run of 16th notes, one sound, and I want to accent 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if I had a camera and I'm playing it back, and I put that what I just did on slow motion, this is what you would see. Simple. Now, there's all kinds of dynamics you can get out of the level system. I have the book, which was written by a former student of Joe Morello's and a good friend of mine. And we will be doing some work out of that. Plus, I told you last night, guys, the Joe Casados books. What was this name? Hey, Mr. Doublekick, how you doing? That's Mike, right? Okay, I tried. But anyway, and then we're going to work out of the Gary Chaffee book. So if you guys it's your first time here, here's what you want to do. You want to at least have the stick control book, the syncopation book, Joe Morello's Master Studies, #1, and Gary Chaffee Patterns series, Time Functions. And I do a tremendous amount of work out of all those books. Now, in addition to the books, you will receive PDFs for the night's lesson, and we'll just what we'll do is we'll take not a different approach, but we'll expand on the books themselves. That's where the PDFs will come in. Okay? Now, you want to play jazz, you want to play fusion, you want to play rock. It doesn't matter. That's your choice. Me, I play music. I hear things. I'm a gospel drummer. I'm a rock drummer. I'm a jazz drummer. I'm a gospel drummer. What the heck is that? You're a drummer. You play. Okay. Did you email me, Mike? Yes? No? Did you email me? Because you're missing out on all the PDFs. Marcio, I know you did not email me. Well, hey, Norm, your response was you don't practice your stick levels as much as you should. But when you play, you're using them. When you practice them slowly, you reinforce what's natural. It's the laws of physics. And by practicing them slowly, you're going to develop more control, and you will develop correctly. You do? Okay, good. I'm sorry there, Mike. Okay, now you weren't here last night, Mike. I am taking off. Tomorrow night's going to be the last lesson for a week. I'm taking off the whole week. I will be back Monday after Labor Day. We're going to do some drum pad work. We're going to do some drum set work. And please, get the books. Okay? And Mike, you're from where? Australia? Is that where you said you were from? We have Canada in the room tonight. And we have, I think, Brazil or Argentina. And we have Massachusetts. And we have Illinois. We're doing good, man. God bless the computers. Well, that's the whole thing. You know, you're telling me it seems automatic. It is automatic. But then if it's not automatic, then you're fighting the laws of physics. And if you fight the laws of physics, you will lose. You're preventing yourself from becoming better. Simple. You know, it's just you know, everybody talks about Moeller and Freddie Gruber. You know, that's all nonsense, man. It's the laws of physics. Period. I get crazy with that shit because I can't stand guys taking credit. I teach Moeller. How do you know? You don't teach Moeller. Moeller's insane. You know. Oh, okay. Hurricane season's here, right? Okay. For those who are watching this after the lesson and when it's being recorded, it's being recorded now. On the recording, when you're listening to it, this is a live stream. There are people inside of the chat, and I'm responding to their questions. Now, last 5 minutes of the lesson tonight, or 10 minutes, maybe, or 20, depending on you guys. Anything in particular you would like me to address? Things that we've gone over or things we haven't gone over that you would like to know? Put it in the chat and we'll see what we can do. No? Okay. Paul, you see, and Joe, you seem like the two guys that want to always request things from me. What do we got here? Any requests? We got a request? Let's see what we got. Oh, I got to move this computer closer. Okay, I'll give you another story. Promise me you won't be spreading this around anywhere. Okay, let me do that first. Paradiddles. Who's this? Oh, Joe. Paradiddles between the bass drum and the snare drum. Well, first off, all right, it's simple. You know, you can play quarter notes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you can play in eighth notes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Or sixteenths. Okay. Is that what you want to know, Joe? Yes, I promise. And the hi-hat, too. Boy, you're asking too much here. All right, I will. All right, you asked between the bass drum and the snare drum. You want me to play between the hi-hat and the snare? Simultaneously. With the bass, I don't know, what voices would you like me to use at the same time? The ride cymbal, the snare drum, the bass drum, and the hi-hat. Tell me what you want me to use and I'll do it for you. I mean, you know, we did the linear stuff. There's so much you can do. I like to do this ostinato pattern. I refer to this as the paradiddle ostinato. And let me turn my stick around. I got to adjust the snare drum. So I'm playing a paradiddle between the hi-hat and the snare. 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. And we could do the whole stick control book or the foot patterns that are in Gary Chaffee's book, like so on and so forth. What do we got here? That's okay, Joe. That's great. Somebody wanted a story, another story about Joe Morello. I told the last one about he come to see me on the gigs all the time. This was, I'll share with you my second lesson. There was a few different locations that he was teaching in New Jersey. And the first location was in Union, New Jersey. And the name of the store, well, not the store, but the place he was teaching in, it was called Dorn and Kirshner. Dorn and Kirshner supplied all the musical instruments to the whole school system within the state of New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania. That means when your kid was in middle school or high school or whatever, grammar school, and he wanted to take a trumpet, you couldn't afford a trumpet, he would rent the trumpet or a snare drum or a trombone or whatever. And it was off of a main highway, and I went to go see him in his studio. Upstairs, he had a nice room. It was about 20 foot by 20 foot. His Ludwig snare drum was there. His Ludwig set was there that he recorded Take 5 with. Great sounding set. I mean, that man knew how to tune drums. And he had 2 drum pads. And back then, he was using the Ludwig drum pads. They were nice drum pads. They had a nice feel. And in front of the 2 drum pads, and he had 2 seats, because you sit down and you look at the wall. But on the wall, it had a mirror. And on the mirror, it had 3 lines. One was for the height of the stick, the full stroke, the half stroke, and the quarter stroke. So if you were playing quarter strokes, you had to stay within the line. Half strokes in that same line, and full strokes in the same line there. And that's just, the environment that was there. And plus, there was a waiting room which was full of drum pads and students who were going to take lessons from Joe, who was next, who was there practicing. And I got to meet a lot of different people, great drummers. And believe it or not, they all remember me from 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Mercy. Okay, what we got here? So I'm going to go on with this. No, they weren't the Billy Gladstone. They weren't the Billy Gladstone pads. All right. So anyway, this is my second lesson. And I got other stories, but I don't want to sit here and tell you stories. I'm not a storyteller. I try to tell a story as best as I can. So I went, the second lesson. And this was like, I think 10 o'clock in the morning or 10:30 in the morning, and I just played a gig, the night before. So I'm in at 3. I'm taking a lesson with Joe Morello at 10:30, and he don't show up until 11:30. Okay, hey, I was practicing, and I have something to do after the lesson. I mean, I was teaching and getting some sleep, hopefully, and I was married, my first marriage then, and we do an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. It depends on what we were into. And I have to tell you about that, the 2, 3, 4 hours, another time. But anyway, my second lesson, we finished the lesson. I need some sleep. I'm tired. Not partying, playing all night. And across the street, he said, we're going to get lunch. Now, little did I know, this man, he wasn't a juicer, but he was a drinker. And man, could that man drink. So I figured, all right, this is cool. Here I am sitting at a table in this nice, cozy luncheon bar. We had tables and booths and everything. They're going to have lunch or whatever. We didn't take any lunch. So me, a big shot, I was young. I said, all right, give me a Heineken. So he takes a Heineken and a double shot of CC, Canadian Club. This man chucked that down, the CC, and then chased it with the Heineken. I looked at him and said, whoa. I figured I got to be cool too. I got to chuck down my Heineken. So after about 10 beers and 10 drinks for him. Now here's a guy, he's 90%, 95% blind. This guy had to carry me out over his shoulders to my car. That's how smashed I got. Just hanging out with Joe. And next lesson I said, never again. You want to go hang out there? No problem. You can drink all you want. I'm going to have club soda or coffee. That's the end of that story. But that man could put him away. He could put him away. And then I'll tell you about the practice room one time. I met a lot of nice people in there. I met Danny Gottlieb, Vinny Colaiuta, Dave Weckl didn't like Morello, Steve Smith. Here I am sitting next to the Danny Gottlieb practicing. Man, that guy has a set of hands on him. And Vinny Colaiuta, that's something else. Okay, guys, I'm going to sign off, and I'll see everybody tomorrow night. Not with another story. Let's do a lesson. This is being recorded, and maybe I'll just give you some stories on a separate video. On a separate video one time, because I have quite a few of them with Joe. Joe was a beautiful person, very gracious, very humble, and always giving. Oh, and let me tell you, back then, that was, I think, 1969, 70. You know how much he was charging me for a lesson? $20. Unbelievable. Okay, with all that being said, time to say good night. Have a good day or a good night, and we'll see everybody tomorrow night. How's that sound, guys? And thanks for stopping by. There's a lot of good people that come in here, Norm, and you make some really good drum friends. You could hook up and exchange ideas. And very good students, man, really. And they're very humble. And everybody's always trying to help each other, which I think is a beautiful community. Joe, stop it. Good night, dear Norm. Have a good night. See you tomorrow night. Paul. Thank you. Good night, everybody. All right, I have to sign off. Good night, guys.